Okay, we are back for another part of our seed starting series. And last week we showed you some things outside and indoors. And today we are only working indoors because, sure enough, we had that beautiful weather last weekend where we were in the 70s. And we actually did get into the 70s yesterday. But this weekend now, it's done a flip flop, and I think it's in the 20s, maybe, right? Or it's in the 30s, but it got down into the 20s last night, and we are due for a week of really cold weather. So we are happy to be indoors and doing our seed starting in here. I even, one of the perks is you can wear your fuzzy flippers. Um, so I don't have to get too dressed up for it. But anyway, um, so this week I am working on um, a bunch of seeds that I already had, but I also actually added some. So I had a bunch of flower seeds, and these are some of the ones that I was showing you. I have in different stages. Like these are now the 6 to 8 week series, and I'm ready to plant these up. And so I've got some gomphrena, lavender lady, isn't that beautiful? Some 4 o'clocks. We have pretty good. Uh, we've had pretty good. What am I trying to say? Luck. I guess it's all luck with 4 o'clocks. We've never, to my knowledge, grown penstemon, and we normally buy our coleus as a plant. So I'm interested to see. And we had a lot of coleus last year, and I probably should have been gathering seed, but I let them just fall where they may. So I'm hoping that we're going to have another batch and crop out where we had them. But anyway, we're going to try some from seed this year. So I've got these, and then I got my vegetable seed order in, and I've got everything kind of staged again based on when they need to go out. And some things are going to be started indoors, but some things really just have to be done outside. So those are going to go out a little bit later when it's not quite so cold and we're a little bit closer to the last average frost day. So anyway, but today I am working on some sweet bell pepper blend peppers, and I want to try some celery. I usually buy the plants, but and I still have one out in the in one of our raised beds, but I think it's time to kind of freshen up and get some new celery going. So that's what I'm working on today, and I'm not going to go crazy. I've only got 30 pepper seeds, so I think I'm going to do 15 unit. Well, I'm only going to do 9. I'm going to do 9 and put like 2 in each cell. And then I'm going to save the rest because I might want to go back and put some of these out in the garden and see how they do coming up from seed out there. So I try not to use them all up. I do if I only have a few, but since I have 30, and I don't need 30 plants. I've had a lot before, and we ended up with pepper overload. But I'm only doing this one variety this year. Not doing the jalapenos, not doing banana peppers, at least not now. And we'll figure it out. I'm just hoping that we just have just enough for what we need and not too many more. So anyway, and then the celery, I think I'll just do the rest of the tray um, with the celery and see what I end up there, which that'll be too much celery if it all works. But anyway, so I'm going to do that, and then on the um, on the flowers and the coleus, I'm going to do that over the course of 2 trays. So I already have a tray ready to go from last weekend. Was that last weekend or the weekend before last weekend? So really, I'm kind of ahead of myself on timing, but we're okay because we're doing it indoors. And we're going to use, instead of using some of our sifted soil that you saw us sift last weekend, and by us, I mean Dawn sifted it. Um, we use that, and we have stuff coming up, and I'll show you close up what's going on from everything that got planted up. And then, but I wanted to use some seed starting mix, and so Dawn found this Jiffy brand. We don't really know that much about it, so this is an experiment. But I can tell you after opening it up that I can see. Let me try to stay somewhat clean. This is super fine. Okay, I don't feel anything hard. Nothing is, there's no sticks, no pokey things, no bark. So it is definitely seed starting mix, and it's very fluffy. And so I have a feeling that it has maybe some cocoa coir. It's not, doesn't tell you what's in it, does it? It's made in Canada, and it talks about peat moss. So, which I love peat moss. I think it kind of has that same effect that you get from the cocoa coir. I think it's, just kind of airy and light, and kind of keeps it, the soil from, getting hard and packing. No, I don't think they tell you what all's in here. I'll have to look. Yeah, okay, wait. 70, okay, this mix contains 60 to 70% sphagnum peat moss, vermiculite, coir pith, and lime for pH adjuster. So lime, and I don't mean Lyme, I mean lime, Lime. So I don't know. The cameraman's looking off in the distance, so I'm trying to figure out. A car went by. See, I have a window. He's looking at one window, and I'm looking at another, and I can see squirrels, so that's my problem. Anyway, so we dragged the tidy tray, or whatever this is called, in, and we're just gonna try to kind of be clean since we're indoors. But again, like I said, this room, it's not a big deal if it gets, a little bit dirty. We can certainly sweep up. That smells good. I don't know. Does everybody like the smell of dirt like I do? It's just something about that sort of earthy. I mean, all earth doesn't smell great, but there's just something about fresh dirt, and like right after it rains, and you can just kind of, wait, what was that? I saw something. Okay, there's sort of a little, very flexible little piece of something in there. That's okay. But this is great. This feels awesome. So I'm just gonna work it in, try not to make too big of a mess. You can see how fluffy it is. I've got dog hair all over me. So I'm gonna be picking at my shirt. So this is kinda, and I'm not gonna, because I know that I've only got, there's a few more little pieces, a few little things. I know that I only have 2 bags, and I've got 2 trays to fill, so yeah, I technically wouldn't call that just broke apart. I think that was some of that either coir or peat moss. But I'm gonna try to, didn't I just throw that down there and now I'm putting it back in? Try to get this kind of cleaned up. I dumped a bunch over here because I was being messy. It's just kind of this corner one that's the worst as far as not having exactly what I think should be in there. That one's a little, and really I could press down hard on this and make it all just seem like it was really not enough in there, but it kind of bounces back. I would say it's a little spongy. So kind of level it off, just give it a chance. Whatever we're going to put in here, give it a chance. Okay, we don't have our very important stick, as I like to call it. to scrape across the top of this in here, but I think I can do it with my hands. Okay, yeah, I think just gonna do this and we're good. Okay, so this one's ready to go, and since it's kind of ready to go, I'm kind of thinking instead of, you want me to go ahead and do? Okay, we're moving right on into another bag here. Get this going. Yeah, I kind of like this. I hope it's worthy of all the praise I'm giving it. Today we're working on we thought it might be easier to do this part on, oh, look at that guy, on this lower table in here. What is that? I feel like he's going to want to eat something. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Hope nobody was upset about that, because I don't know what he eats and he doesn't need to be in this room. There's too many delectable little things going on. So, all right. So we're just gonna get all my spillage. It's always the same place that I need it. I don't know. This feels like it wasn't quite as much, but I think it's enough that I can work with. I just want to get that cleaned off. You know, trying to just be neat a little bit when it comes time to spray, water these things. If there's a lot of dirt hanging around on the edges, it just sort of goes everywhere. We have our boot trays, but you know, we're not trying to trash the place out too bad. So get it off all the edges. Okay. And then we've just got a tray underneath. Okay, there was a little piece of bark in that one. A little tiny, I mean, this is minuscule compared to what I've run up against in some of the other, well, and to say it's potting mix, this is seed starting mix, so it's supposed to be a lot more seed friendly and be softer and, you know, not have the chunks and stuff. But man, some of the potting mix is just so chunky that, you know, obviously it's for a different application. So anyway, I've got a couple of trays here. And I'm going to get rid of this for a minute. Ooh. Okay. So I'm going to go after, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do the food first. I want to get these peppers in. And do I have my tags ready? No. So I'm going to grab my marker and get a couple of tags. And I have not written anything in my journal about this, so it's going to be after the fact. Grandbaby left that in here the other day. I've got some of these loose. So that one's giving me heck. Here we go. I need to learn to use ones that are already out of the package instead of keep opening 20 packages and then I have markers everywhere. So, okay. So I'm going to mark sweet peppers. I'll know. And I saved the seed bags. Sweet peppers. And today's the 16th, 2/16, 25. Holy crap. Excuse me. And I used to write like how long I'd be waiting for, the seedlings to emerge or whatever, but I'm not going to do that. But it's 10 to 25 days. So I need to be patient because it could be a month before these actually crop up. So I'm going to put this facing me because it's more important that I know what I'm doing here instead of y'all. And then this is one of these beautiful seed packets from Botanical Interests. I'm not going to tear it up, and I know that there's probably a recipe on the inside since it's something to eat. I'm hoping there is. All right, so what I also like about some of these, they don't all come this way, but it's got its own little inner pack. So I've got to get into it, and I kind of know what the pepper seeds are going to look like because I've dealt with them a lot, but they're going to be a decent size. And they look just almost like the kind that you sprinkle on your pizza or in your spaghetti sauce. And they're kind of cool because they're multicolored instead of all being red like the ones you get in the little packets, from the pizza place. But that's because, remember, they are going to be a blend. So I'm going to have, yellow, orange, red. Now, not to say that they won't all go red if I leave them all out. They could, ripen that much, and they'll start out green probably as well. But anyway, these are supposed to stay true to their colors, and I think that's what we're looking at here. So it says that the seed depth should only be 1/4 of an inch. So I am just barely going to, I'm going to put 2 in each. I wonder if should I do the same color? Sure. I'm going to put 2 in each cell. I'm going to do some of the kind of red ones along this row. Some are a little, I don't know, in between red and orange, so we'll see. What I'm going to do, I think that's an orange one. That's an orange one. That's definitely an orange one. Okay. Orange. I don't know. Yeah. Here's one. It's really orange. Oop. Come over. And then, and it's interesting because these are kind of, seem like they're smaller. But I'm assuming they're let me break that little chunk of stuff up. But the yellow ones seem like they're smaller seeds. It could just be me. Okay. So, there we go. I'm going to get all those and get them into my hand. I dropped one somewhere. Then I'm going to put them back in here. I'm not going to worry about the little extra. Thank you. Yes. I knew it landed on the tray. I just couldn't see it. So I'm going to put those over here for now. And I'm just going to barely cover those up. I know it said 1/4 of an inch, but honestly, I think they'll be okay. They just need a little covering. They want to get to the light. Oh, okay, and this is just so nice to work with. It's so fluffy. So this is not like Jiffy didn't send this out. We bought it at the store, so this isn't like a sponsored video or anything. But ooh, oh, that one's okay. That one's definitely going to be 1/4 of an inch. We'll see. I have to kind of pay attention, see if that makes a difference.
It'll be a week later.
Yeah. I'll be like, what's wrong with it? Oh yeah, this is that one. go. All right. Okay. So everybody's just nice and tucked in over here. These are the sweet peppers. Got them marked. All right. And now, and you know, we could speed this up on this part, right? So celery. And this is 216, right? 25. All right. I have a feeling these are loose in here.
Supervisor.
Yes. Hi, Riley. I'm going to see what's up. She's been in the window sunbathing. It is a good day to be an indoor puppy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, look at these. Okay. I'm not even sure I want to put them in the tray. So this makes sense because I have seen celery go to seed, and they are tiny. They look like little tiny, you know, like watermelons. What is it? Is it fennel seeds that look like little tiny? They're bigger than this though, watermelons. So I'm gonna take and 3 seeds every 6 to 12 inches. Well, we're not outside. Just supposed to press it into the surface. So I'm just going to take a little pinch and I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to press them in. I don't even want them going down in there. So we're just going to take, oh, there's a bunch in that one. Okay, and we're just going to press it in. Make sure you have a dry hand. Mine are so dry right now because of winter and yucky, but just make sure you have a good dry hand when you're doing this so that you don't accidentally pick them up and take them all over the house with you. So there's several there. And yeah, I'm not going to use all these either. So I might do another planting of them later on, like midsummer. We have a long grow season. I mean, we have lettuce out there right now that I planted back in, I don't know, September maybe. But we have a long grow season, so I can probably get another batch to harvest before it's time for things to get really cold again. And celery likes cool weather. I mean, it's not like it won't do as well really in the heat, the hot heat. Oh, maybe add a couple more right there. Say we did. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stick these up. So glad I didn't dump all those out. Oh, there's a bunch in there. So this, instead of being a seed count, is 200 milligrams of seed in this little packet. And there's plenty. I could do 2 more plantings just like that. So I think we're good. So I think I want to go ahead and get these set up. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a mist to get them going. We'll put them up on our shelf and get the light on them. Now, I don't want to blow them out, so I'm going to stand back here and sort of see what, yeah. I'm just going to lightly spray them down from way up here. Because again, I don't want to blow them all over the place. once they're wet, they should, stay put, but you just got to be careful. Oh, look at how it looks. It's got little pock marks. So this is where it's wet and then it's dry under those pock marks. I can see where it's still dry. So that's interesting. But again, seed starting mix. I'm just going to get these really good and doused. And that's all we're going to worry about right now, because there's no point in getting a whole bunch of moisture in the very bottom of these pots yet, because nothing's there. Everything's sitting on top. So I'm going to get out of the way here. And I guess I'll just probably put these up here. All right. And I was just going to keep potting, but not, I mean, don't you think we're done? Do we want to talk about this a little bit? We don't want to talk about what we already planted?
You can. You mentioned it earlier.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going, and I think you guys get the gist of it. And again, we're just doing all that stuff. But I wanted to show you from last weekend what we ended up with. So this is the wild bergamot, and these are really interesting. And I think I've got, here, I've got way too many. That's what happens when, your seeds kind of get away from you. Nothing, well, there's a couple here. But this looks good, and I'll probably have to thin those out eventually. There's a couple that don't have anything yet back here. But these, we're going to take a little while. So it's great that they're already up in that amount of time. So the geraniums, dark burgundy geraniums that I'm really excited about, I've got 3 up. I'm not sure that's one. That might have been, because remember, this was some of the sifted dirt, and there's definitely can be some seeds. As a matter of fact, I pulled a few things that I knew were not geraniums out already. I'm not sure about that one, but I do recall that I was trying to be really careful and put the seeds in the center of each, which that one I might have missed a little bit. But, I was trying to get the seeds in the center of each cell. So, and I only had 1 seed per cell. Remember, I got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17. I thought I only had 16, but maybe
weren't those last year's seeds that we had left over?
No.
Oh, I didn't know they were new.
No, they're new. I got these from Toadstool, and I just didn't have a lot of information about them. So, yeah. But we grew a ton of geraniums last year at and they did really well. So I think, but we've got to wait. It takes a while. It can take up to a month for them to show a seedling. So, and then these are the black-eyed Susans or Rudbeckia. These are the cherry brandy color. So I can tell you that these were also, I think, 1 seed per cell. So these little guys, pretty sure that's one. I know that's one because they have a kind of a hairy set of leaves, like they have their first leaves and then their true leaves come out, and see how hairy that almost looks like a little animal. I'm betting that is not one. That's probably not one. I'm sure this is not one. That looks like it could be, might be a cucumber. So we're just going to take that out. But there's one, there's maybe one. I don't know. They have to get up beyond a certain. See, this one's got 2. So this one's got 2 little hairy leaves that are, it's now truer leaves. So anyway, but these take a while too. So that's okay. We have time yet to, take care of that. So this is one of the ones that I'm going to use today. And then up here. So anyway, and then I'm going to move this. And this is a whole nother project that we will talk about another time. but it has to do with succulents and how much I love them and I like to propagate them and everything. So anyway, we're just going to keep going. We're going to report back in on everything and show you and talk to you about anything that we find that's different or unusual. And we're kind of excited about that seed starting mix, and we may use that a lot more just because we evidently can find that. So, anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure and tune in next time.